As you accept your very first quest, you're transported to a place that would change everything. The map where it all began for so many hunters. You arrive at a quiet camp, nestled among towering trees. It feels like a natural dome, protected by thick roots and branches. Inside, there's a simple bed where you can rest, a small pond filled with fish, and two supply boxes for deliveries or storage. The sound of crackling firewood fills the air, and a bright beam of light shines through an opening above, calling you to step outside and breathe in the fresh air of your first hunt. You are welcomed to the location of eternity. The very first Monster Hunter games, Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter G, and Monster Hunter Freedom, all introduced players to this iconic starting map, the forests and hills. Today I'll be focusing on Monster Hunter Freedom because this was my very first game in the series. Let's dive in and relive how this map felt during my first experience. Right from the start, you encounter a herd of Aptonoth. These gentle giants are the first monsters you'll carve, learning how to gather meat and cook it on the spot. A river flows nearby, and in the distance you can see more Aptonoths grazing. Everything looks a bit blurry. This is where the hunting truly begins. You start another genocide on the poor Kelbies. The area is also filled with vines and ledges. This is the first time you learn how to climb in the game. And you can see far away, you can see the beautiful waterfalls. Another climbing section, perfect for gathering spider webs during collection quests. You'll spot moss swine roaming around. This path also leads up to Area 5, the Wyvern's Nest. But let's take a lower route back to Area 3 for now. Now this place feels intriguing because there is some hills formations and there is a dramatic cliff-like landscape. You can still find Aptonoth wandering here. Now this area actually scared me a little when I was a kid. It's where the game introduces the flagship monster of the entire series, the Rathalos. Imagine being brand new to Monster Hunter and already seeing the flagship this early. And of course, it happens during an egg gathering quest. The first three games heavily featured Rathalos, though Monster Hunter G added the Azure Rathalos variant and introduced variant monsters to the series. The Wyvern's Nest. This is the home of both Rathalos and Rathian. You can gather bones here along with the most frustrating item, the egg. We finished exploring the hills section. Now let's go deeper into the forest areas. This is the abandoned hunter camp, the place where you get your very first real monster hunt, taking down 3 Velociprays. A peaceful, beautiful spot where you meet the Veggie Elder. I like to call him the trader. It's very calm and clean looking, just one large tree, a small pond, and you can even climb the giant mushroom. The most unique thing here is the old camera system. It zooms in tightly in your hunter, making it really hard to see monsters in the distance. Later games fixed this. This area is home to the playful Melinxes. There's a ledge for getting honey and a secret entrance where you can collect bugs. This wide open space is where you first encounter the Velocidrome, the alpha leader of the Velocipray. It's the broadest area in the forest, and flying monsters often land here. A tight narrow zone where you first introduced to fishing is also your first meeting with the aggressive Bullfango. And finally, Area 12, home to Lenians. These cat-like creatures hoard items and have turned the trees into their cozy little homes. It looks really charming. All these areas are where I learned the basics of becoming a hunter. This is the place where my Monster Hunter journey truly started, the Forest and Hills. This map is genuinely amazing, and it's just one of many iconic locations in the series. For a new hunter, it feels like a breather, a safe space to explore, make mistakes, and slowly gain knowledge for the adventures ahead. But after finishing all the basic quests, I still wasn't satisfied. Something was missing. To truly feel like I had completed my first real experience on this map, there was one thing I needed to do. Hunt the flagship monster, the Rathalos. Since I was a kid, the first time I saw Rathalos, the only thought in my head was, how do I even hunt this thing? I kept wondering when the quest would finally appear. I felt prepared, scared, and excited all at once. The moment I encountered him, I wanted to fight. But I wasn't ready yet. My first sighting was during that egg quest. I kept clearing other quests and moving to different maps, but the Forest and Hills never felt finished. Those basic quests felt incomplete. There was one final thing I had to do before saying goodbye to this nostalgic map. Not even goodbye, or just like a common place to roam around as a veteran hunter right now. I had to hunt the Rathalos. As a kid, I barely knew how to craft proper weapons and armor. Still, for my own satisfaction, I prepared using my Velociprey armor set and a Great Serpent Blade. It wasn't the strongest gear available, but it was my comfort set, and that was enough. I was ready. It was terrifying. This was my first time hunting a flagship monster. I tried my best to read its movements, stay alive, and not faint while fighting with everything I had. Finally, the Rathalos was down. And in that quiet moment, standing in the wyvern's nest, it didn't feel like I had conquered the Forest and Hills. It felt like the Forest and Hills had accepted me. This map was never just a starting area. It was a teacher. Every zone had a purpose. Every corner introduced a lesson. The Forest and Hills wasn't designed to overwhelm. It was designed to prepare. And at the center of it all stood Rathalos, a test place within the very map that raised you. Defeating Rathalos doesn't end the Forest and Hills. It completes its cycle. You arrive as a beginner, you explore as a learner, and you struggle as a hunter. And you live as someone stronger than when you first step out of that camp. That's why the Forest and Hills remains iconic. The Forest and Hills wasn't just where the hunt began. It's where Monster Hunter began.